I'm in front of the television. I got it in the kitchen in the morning, and there's Ronald Reagan's blue eyes. And he says, we have absolute proof that the communist Sandinista government of Nicaragua is in the cocaine running business, cocaine trafficking. And there's Barry's plane, the fat lady, bellied in on the runway. And I thought, oh, shit, Barry has done it again. I'd heard he had switched over and gone with the police.
You'd heard that?
I'd heard it. Somebody told me that Barry may be working with him. I don't know who told me, but somewhere. I think the
So
guy...
before we get into that then, because how did you guys did communications just fall off? Because he was working for you.
Yes. Well, whenever I got arrested, Barry went and got the lawyers, and he sent a lawyer there from Baton Rouge in, robbed me, and and then he got Albert Krieger, the best lawyer that I tell you I ever seen, and he did a whole crew, and he had, I believe, 3 of my airplanes, and he gave Mari the money for him, 100%, helped her whatever he could, and but then I wasn't there, and I was just cut out of the deal.
Okay.
So he just kept on flying. So of course, he knew the people by then. It was too much together. I couldn't keep it apart. Didn't even try to. But now he's crashed his plane on the Nicaragua one runway there where we refuel, and the phone rang. And he said, Roger, I got to see you. I'll come out tonight. At a French restaurant. I forgot the name of it. Says I'll be there at 9 o'clock. All right, Barry. So I went in at 9 o'clock in the room, not a very big restaurant, and maybe 10 or 15 tables. All of them looked like 30, 40 years old, leather skirts and sports coats and blue jeans. And Barry's leaned upside the wall at the back, and he's gained weight. And I walk up to him and I say, Barry, are you wired? He said, no, I'm not, Roger. I said, well, you just talk, I'm gonna listen. And he said, all right. So I sat down with him, and he went to talk, and he said, Roger, I was protected there in Mina. You know about that. He said, when the shit hit the fan, they all ran, left me holding the bag. And I was indicted in Miami, in Florida, Louisiana, and Arkansas, facing 3 life sentences. And so I've told everything. I've been before Congress. I've testified to everything that was going on. But you're under my umbrella. I told them I would not testify unless they protected you. So you and I are partners. He said, you've got to come to Miami and testify before a grand jury. Wow. I said, are they all DEA agents? He said, every one of them. I said, well, bring your head honcho over. He put his hands over his eyes, and the tears run down between his hands. He said, I just couldn't do it, Roger. I just couldn't do it. I'm so sorry, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do life in prison. So that's when I told him, bring your fella over. I felt sorry for him. I mean, I really did. So the guy came over, lanky fella, crop duster from Alabama, I believe, Jake Jacobson. He's the one that was in that crashed airplane in Nicaragua. And he told me the same thing. He said, well, you can come tomorrow. Said, well, we had some Chevys Regal and got a little pie-eyed, and I liked him, except we was on different sides. He said, you can come tomorrow to Miami in first class with Mari, or I'll take you down in chains. And the only place you're going to ever see your family again as long as you live is in a federal prison visiting room, I promise you. That's all. I'll make sure to come first class. So I did. Mari and I went down to Miami the next day, and I went in to see a lawyer. I went to see Gould, is his name. I didn't realize his partner had been blown up and killed because he was representing a snitch. But he's supposed to have been the best at the time, and I went in to see him, and he just says, he says, I'll represent you for $600,000, but I don't talk to snitches. I said, I'm not a snitch. He said, well, that's what you're talking about. I said, no, I'm not. I'm just trying to get what you said. He said, listen, man, being a snitch is like being pregnant. You either are or you're not. He was nasty. He said, once you start talking, if you don't tell them everything, you will receive a life sentence because everything you've ever done, everything else they said about you will be used against you. He said, you got to tell everything from day one to now. And so I left his office, and I thought, damn, that guy. I went to see another, and he told me the same thing. And I said, listen, man, I've got to say something. I've got to. He said, you can't. If you're going to do it, you've got to do it all, or you will be convicted and get life. So I went to that afternoon, I went to the courthouse, and I was going to tell them and so I was supposed to meet them like at 3 o'clock. And I was standing, it was hot, and I was standing behind a pillar, big marble pillars there at Miami Federal Court. And I was up the stairs, and here come the 3 cars. They had about 4 of them with their machine gun pistols in the front, and I think 2 in the front and 2 on each side of Barry in the back. They was looking out this way and that way with Barry as they come to the court. And Barry's car pulled right up and stopped beside me. And I just stepped down that step and hit the top of that car. Wham! You should have seen them. They tore that car up trying to turn around. I said, see how easy it would be? They didn't appreciate my humor. So I said, listen, I'm having trouble with lawyers. I'll get one tomorrow. And Barry said, use mine, use mine. I said, all right, give me your card. So he gave me the card. And I had no intention of it. So anyhow, I just trying to put it off so I didn't get arrested that night. So anyway, I went to a festival restaurant there, and Coral Gables was my favorite restaurant at that time. Still is. I think it's closed now. And I was having dinner, and of course Barry knew it was, and he came in with Debbie, and we had dessert together. And I said, Barry, they're going to kill you, friend. Oh, no, this and that and the other. Fabio's in jail, and Ochoa's in the end of this and other. I said, Barry, they're going to kill you. There's no way on earth you're not going to get killed. And I hugged his neck. I might have kissed him. I said, Barry, they're going to kill you. And I took Maury and the children. We fled to Brazil. And we was down there about 6 months. And I got word that Barry was dead, killed. And I shed some tears, told Maury and Miriam, and they cried. And the biggest snitch in the world's dead, and I'm facing a life sentence, but I'm still sorry they killed him. But he should have known.
Who killed him?
The guy that was in the guy that flew up on the first load with me with a machine gun pistol. He's the one that killed him. He's still in Angola. There was 4 of them. One of them died, and 3 of them still left up there. They're doing life, never going to get out. Ronaldo was his name. That ugly man. I mean, he was ugly. I'm sure he still is ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's who killed Barry.
How long were you down in Brazil? 6 months, you said?
No, it's a little over a year.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.